How do you solve a problem like Prince Andrew? After the latest scandal reported in newspapers over the weekend, what can the king do given the growing pressure to sanction the disgraced Duke further? Hello, I'm Cameron Walker, GB News' royal correspondent, and you're watching GB News Originals. The Duke of York has been embroiled in scandals for years, but this latest bombshell, it could be the final nail in his PR coffin, although I've definitely said that before. We're talking about a leaked email that shows Andrew secretly reassured his friend, the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, that we're in this together, just one day after the Mail on Sunday drops that now infamous photograph of him with a teenaged Virginia Giuffre. Let's break this down, step by step. First off, rewind to February 2011. The Mail on Sunday publishes this world-exclusive photo, the one where Prince Andrew has his arm around a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre at Glenn Maxwell's London home. Giuffre, who was allegedly trafficked by Epstein, later claimed she was forced to have sex with Andrew, allegations he's always denied vehemently. But the photo, it was a game changer, leading to his downfall. And what does Andrew do the very next day? He fires off an email to Epstein, the convicted sex offender, saying he's just as concerned for him, they need to rise above the press scrutiny, and, wait for it, we'll play some more soon. Signed off, A. HRH, the Duke of York, KG. And KG, in this context, stands for the Knight of the Garter, which is the oldest and most noble order of chivalry in Britain. This email is huge because it flat out contradicts what Andrew said to Emily Maitlis in the now infamous 2019 Newsnight interview. Remember that? He claimed he cut off all contact with Epstein after their 2010 walk in Central Park. The photo of them strolling together like old friends. He said that was the moment he ended the friendship, and he never spoke to him again. But this email? It's dated February the 28th, 2011, 12 weeks after that supposed breakup. It appears to be proof he's lying, according to the article. And it's not just some random leak. The email address checks out from court documents. GB News has contacted Prince Andrew's office for comment. Now, this isn't the first time that Prince Andrew's ties to Epstein have made headlines. We've had the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, calling Epstein her supreme friend in messages even after vowing to cut ties. And Giuffre's lawsuit ended with Andrew paying out a reported £12 million in 2022. No admission of guilt, though. And tragically, Giuffre passed away by suicide earlier this year. The whole saga has historians and royal experts comparing it to the 1936 abdication crisis with Edward VIII.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just live in credit. Whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponize against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
A.N. Wilson, a big-name historian, wrote in the Mail on Sunday this weekend that this is a major crisis for the monarchy, perhaps the gravest since then. He says King Charles and Prince William cannot be seen to support or underwrite Andrew anymore and must cast him out to avoid implicating themselves. Ouch. Former Minister Norman Baker, who is a Republican, is piling on too, calling for Andrew to lose all his official titles and get booted from his big mansion Royal Lodge. Speaking of titles, there's a ton of public outcry to strip Prince Andrew of his Prince status and his Duke of York title. Polls show major support for it, like a YouGov survey where people are fed up. There's even whispers that Prince William might push for it when he becomes king. But here's the twist. King Charles doesn't actually have the power to do this on his own. Royal titles, like Prince or Duke, they're baked into law and tradition, and to remove them it takes an Act of Parliament. Basically, politicians in the House of Commons and the House of Lords voting on a new bill specifically for that purpose. It's not something the monarch can just snap his fingers and make happen. Let's give you some historical context here, because it isn't unprecedented, but the last time it took place was 1917, so it's incredibly rare. It was during the First World War, and Parliament passed the Titles Deprivation Act. That law stripped titles from British royals and peers who sided with Germany. Think dukes and princes who are seen as enemies. It even allows for the removal of the prince title in those cases. Fast forward to today, and experts say that's the closest precedent for Andrew's situation. There was even a removal of titles bill floated recently to close loopholes for controversial figures like Prince Andrew, but it didn't pass. Queen Elizabeth II removed his military titles and patronages in 2022, and Prince Andrew voluntarily stopped using HRH in public. But the core stuff, it's still very much there. So unless Parliament steps in, which would be a massive political move, Andrew keeps his Prince and Duke titles. Now, let's take a look at Royal Lodge, that 30-room mansion in Windsor Great Park where Andrew's been living it up. This place is a symbol of his lingering privileges, and there's huge pressure to kick him out. Maybe downsize to somewhere smaller, like Prince Harry and Meghan's former home, Frogmore Cottage. But again, King Charles's hands are tied. Why? Because Andrew signed a 75-year lease with the Crown Estates back in 2003. That runs until 2078. He paid for massive refurbishment himself, estimated around £7.5 million at the time, and he shells out annual rent. The lease prevents him from profiting if the property value goes up, but as long as he pays the bills and maintains the place, the Crown Estate can't just evict him. Insiders say that Charles has already cut Andrew's funding, putting financial pressure on him, but legally, there's not much that the king can do here. Now, Norman Baker has called it squatters' rights. I think it's probably more like an ironclad contract. So what can King Charles actually do? Well, he's not powerless. For starters, Andrew still holds the Knight of the Garter title. Remember the KG he signed off in the emails. It's the highest chivalric honour, but he doesn't participate in the public ceremonies anymore. Charles could remove him from the order altogether, which would be a big symbolic slap for Andrew. It's rare. The last time a Garter Knight was booted out was ages and ages ago, but it is within the monarch's power. Pressure is mounting for that, with experts saying it risks bringing the royal family into disrepute if he keeps it. Beyond titles, Charles can ban Andrew from all public royal events, which he's mostly done already, and even extend that to private family gatherings. And there's even talk he'll be banned from shooting on the royal estates, which of course is one of Prince Andrew's favourite pastimes. That also means no more Christmas at Sandringham, no family dinners. Sources say the Yorks aren't welcome this year anyway. It's about keeping him at arm's length to protect the monarchy's image. So this scandal isn't just tabloid fodder and gossip, it's testing the limits of the modern monarchy. With more Epstein documents potentially coming out via US Congress, Andrew's troubles may only get worse. The author Andrew Lowney calls this email the tip of the iceberg, and he may well be right. Revelations keep on coming. King Charles is walking a tightrope, show mercy to his brother, and risk looking complicit. Go too far, and it could spark bigger debates about the royals' privileges. Will Parliament step in? Will Andrew finally bow out gracefully? Watch this space. What do you think? Should Prince Andrew lose everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe for more royal content, and I'll see you next time. This is Cameron Walker for GB News Originals.
GB News isn't just a channel, It's a family.
And now you can be a part of it. Join our membership for exclusive content and to be part of the conversation.
We're building something different together.
So join us today.
Because your voice deserves to be heard. Become a GB News member today.
Visit gbnews.com/support or scan the QR code on screen now. Thank you.